Hello guys, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nizam and I am here to do the assignment given by Dr. Mustafa, which is about horizontal well testing analysis. And today I'm going to interview several expertise, mainly from Saudi Aramco, from ExxonMobil, SPE Society, and PetroChina. Actually I have to ask them about what is horizontal well test and the opportunity and the challenges that they interfere. So stay tuned guys.
Nuriman Amshar, a senior reservoir engineer in Shell, in Management and Surveillance Department based in Malaysia. After graduating from UTP in 2018, he has spent the past 15 years in the oil and gas industry in a very wide scope within the industry.
Everything in this world must have its own cycle. For example, we as human beings also have a cycle, which is starting from the birth and end up with our death. Same goes to the oil and gas industry, which consists of 5 stages throughout its cycle, which the first stage will be exploration stage, second one is acquisition, third one which is development, the fourth one which is the production phase, and the last one will be the abandonment stage. So in this new technology, based on research and development, we are focusing more on production stage. So after the evolution of oil and gas industry, there are several techniques are being introduced in order to maximize our production. But what is the best way to maximize our production? In 1980s, the horizontal well has been introduced. What is horizontal well? We used to drill in a vertical way, which is straight from surface up to the target depth with several deviation only. But with horizontal well, we could drill 90 degree from our surface to the target depth. From this horizontal well, you can see the drilling path will make up a J letter in our drilling path. So it is a good thing in oil and gas industry actually, because we know that our reservoir is heterogeneous. It's really hard to find the characteristic, all the what so-called the parameters needed for our calculation. So with this new well technique, we can maximize our production because some of our reservoir are actually in horizontal, not in vertical way. Since 1980s, horizontal well has been extremely popular in all the techniques introduced. The major purpose is to enhance reservoir contact and hence the well productivity. A horizontal well is drilled parallel to the reservoir bedding plane in 3D nature of flow geometry. Of horizontal well, it makes the application of classical conventional analysis method, which is very difficult.
Hanafi Hasbi, an operator assistant 1 slick line in Saudi Arabia Al Khabar, Saudi Aramco. With 20 years of experiences involving offshore and onshore operations, Hanafi can be said one of the most super senior that has dedicated his life for the job.
In petroleum engineering, we have 3, can divide it into 3. We have production, We have the reservoir engineering. We have another one is the drilling. So, in well test analysis, it is the job of the reservoir engineer to actually knows the parameter. So this reservoir engineer, it is very important to analyze the reservoir and well condition. But for the production, it is only the production engineer is only have to know on the condition of production and injection wells in order to get the best result. So in every well, it is important to identify the pressure first. The pressure is the most important parameters among the others. Wallahi ya akhi, the pressure is the most important. Therefore, it is very important for the engineers to actually get the right information in order to get the objectives of the WCA itself. So, we have 4 objectives of the well test analysis. So, the first one would be to obtain the reservoir parameters. Second would be determine whether the length that we have drilled is a producing zone. And last but not least is to get the skin factor and also the drilling and completion related damage. So Nizam, just now you want to know about the horizontal well testing. So horizontal well testing, what I can say is the measurement that we made above the well bore with the pressure gauge is still at the top, the vertical section. And also you have to know, Nizam, there are many factors in order to get the information from the horizontal well test analysis. Okay, I can give you example. For example, the horizontal permeability, vertical permeability, drilling completion, damage completion, producing interval is less than the drill length, and last is the variation of standoff. That is the factors that affect the horizontal well test analysis. Nizam, before you can do the horizontal well test, you need to have the steps in order for you to interpret the data correctly. So I can give you 3 of the steps that can make your data more reliable. So the first one would be, before you drill the horizontal section, it is better to run tests in the pilot hole. Okay, in the pilot hole. Okay. Second, do get the estimation of standoff by doing a good directional drilling survey. Last is get a production log flow survey conducted with coil tubing inside the wellbore. When you have done with all the steps, then you can determine which part of the wellbore is actually producing and which part is not producing. So, خلاص.
Teo Yong-ji, the current president of Society of Petroleum Engineers and also a drilling superintendent at the Port of Long Beach, California. Extensive experience in training and project implementation in field development, thermal recovery, completions, horizontal wells, hydraulic fracturing, reserve and reservoir management, water flooding, and applied reservoir characterization.
So Nizam, the use of transient well testing for determining reservoir parameter and productivity in horizontal well has become common because of the upsurge in horizontal drilling. Initially, horizontal well tests were analyzed with the conventional technique designed for the vertical well. Now, new flow regime has been identified and used frequently to estimate horizontal and vertical permeability of the reservoir, wellbore, skin, and also reservoir pressure. Although the existing tools and interpreting technique may be sufficient for simple systems, but innovation and improvement of the present technology are still essential for well testing of horizontal well in many reservoirs with different geological environment and different well completion requirement. Nizam, I guess you already have some basic understanding about horizontal well testing. So now I will introduce you the advantages of horizontal well testing. Basically, we have 5 advantages. The first one, reduce water and gas cooling because of reduced drawdown in the reservoir for a given production rate, thereby reducing the remedial work required in the future. The second one, increase production rate because of the greater wellbore length exposed to the bay zone. The third one, reduce pressure drop around the wellbore. The fourth one, lower fluid velocity around the wellbore. And the final one, we have advantages as a general reduction in sand production from a combination of item 3 and 4.
Kevin Go, an environmental compliance specialist in PetroChina. For nearly 30 years, Kevin has focused on delivering a broad range of environmental consulting and construction services to oil and gas sector clients throughout the world. He has had the opportunity to hold senior leadership roles in both operations and business development functions.
Okay, so Nizam, see there are some problems in horizontal well tests that the engineer will face when they drill a horizontal well. And there are some parameters that may happen to affect the transient response and test design procedures. The first one is in tight gas reservoir especially. The time to start of the pseudo steady state can be very large. In such cases, vertical gas wells can be drilled at close spacings to effectively drain the reservoir. This will require a large number of vertical wells. In many cases, it is hard to create long fracture in tight reservoir, especially if the reservoir is overlain or underlain by a weak cap or base rock. During the fracture job, when pumping pressure exceeds the formation parting pressure for an effective proppant placement, the high pumping pressure may open up a large portion of the weak cap or base lock, resulting in an excessive fracture height and fracture growth in unproductive zones. There are some influence of turbulence also in the high permeability gas wells. So horizontal gas wells are useful in high permeability gas wells, especially in those wells when near wellbore turbulence is very high. By drilling a horizontal well, one can increase productive length and therefore decrease the near wellbore turbulence and enhance the well productivity. That's why an engineer always suggests to drill a 2,000 feet long horizontal gas well, not only to reduce wellbore turbulence but also to ensure against water conning.